welcome to Video Game Conspiracy Theories with your host, 1000x to the moon. First off, this is real, it's not a joke. So it's all related, trust, but basically Grimm from All Night was also this character from Aspen Hotel, the radio devil. He's also Deadpool. He's also Miles Morales. He's also the protagonist from Yakuza. He's also Lupin. He's also Harley Quinn. He's also Surrealism. It's also Sonic. It's also Princess Knight. It's all related to Dadaism. Because nothing is true and everything is permitted. We're living in a world of fiction. And basically in fiction you have two or three character archetype. Basically, this is just one big character archetype that goes all the way back to Arlequin, from Commedia dell'arte. So it's just a character that pushes back against the norm, that pushes back the limits, that pushes back against authority. So Arlequin is one of them because he's pushing back against the notion that he can't be two different people's. Basically, he's a servant, but he can be two different people's servant at the same time, and it becomes a mess. Or he'll pretend to be like a noble, or he'll pretend to be like someone that's helping you, but then he'll go back and steal your briefcase. Let's say he comes, he's like, "Oh, sir, I see you have a very heavy briefcase. Do you want me to carry it for you?" And then it ends up to be just stolen, you know? So Harlequin, in that sense, is very similar to someone like Lupin. He pretends to be like a gentleman or someone very kind, someone very friendly, but he's always planning ahead. He's planning to steal stuff from you, from the nobles, from the people in power. In the new series, Hassan is even less of a noble, of a gentleman. The original Arsène Lupin was, because the original Arsène Lupin was like the son of a queen or something, but in the new one, he's just a kid. His dad was the servant to like a rich house. And he's like going around stealing these things to like get revenge. He's like dressing up, pretending to be like rich, always pretending to be someone else. And all harkens back to just the notion of acting. Like in the Commedia dell'arte, they had like these masks to represent each archetype. And it's like, whoever's that mask, we don't really care. What we care about is it Harlequin? Is it Pantalone, the doctor? Is it the sad clown? Is it the happy clown? Is it the other servant? Which one of these archetypes are they? It doesn't matter who's behind the mask. But like in modern eras, we removed masks and now it's like we think like an actor can only do one type of role. It's like, are you gonna be like, do only the crazy role? Are you gonna do only like normal serious role? Or are you gonna be like Jim Carrey and do like serious and sometimes comedy? Sometimes serious but funny at the same time, So it's just a character archetype, like pushing against the boundaries. So we're gonna go right to left. So first off is Assassin's Creed here. Assassin's Creed is because in the story, the reason why you start killing the people in power is because like nothing is true and everything is permitted. But it's a world of fiction. Every world of fiction, nothing is true. You can write anything. You can write Assassin's Creed. Ezio meets Da Vinci. He meets like all these famous people and we never heard of. But there's plenty of other people who lived at those times that we didn't hear anything about. Another good example is Joker. Joker is a very good example, breaking the fourth wall, always creating more chaos. But what's interesting about Joker and these types of villains is that often they will, like, when the hero faces a new threat that's like might actually destroy them. Sometimes Joker, like Eggman as well in the new Sonic movie, it's like they will help the hero save the world because they want the world to be able to fight their hero and continue to oppose them. And often, like, Joker is shown, like, when Batman is dead, or Batman's, like, there's a comic where Batman's dead, and Joker is just, like, depressed in solitary confinement, almost like drooling. And then when Batman comes back to life, he's like, "Oh my god, my life's purpose has come back." And Harlequin is is even more chaotic because she changes sides a lot. She's either good or she's bad, or she's somewhere in the middle, being like, "Well, okay, I need money, so I'm gonna steal money." It's like, the world is in danger, let's save it. Oh, the world is not in danger, let's put it in danger. So in that sense, very similar to Deadpool. Deadpool does the same thing. He's like very murdery, very like chaotic, but he's on the side of good-ish. He's on the side of the good guys until he wants to kill all the good guys for no reason other than this is the Deadpool comic book where he kills every hero. Miles Morales always, especially in the new incarnation, the one from the animated. He's like pushing against the idea that Spider-Man has to be white, Spider-Man has to be Peter Parker. It's like anyone could have become Peter Parker, anyone other than me. But I was the one who was bitten. I have not these powers now. It's like I must use them to help society. He's like in the graph culture and the rebel culture, rebelling against these ideals. Like, you're all asking me to do something? Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. That's what he says in the second movie. Here I put Yakuza, because Yakuza is like a mixed media hellscape. They mix everything. There's like a Pac-Man minigame, there's like Sega game inside my Sega game. And Ichiban is a good example of chaotic character. It pretends he's not in his head, he's not a Yakuza, he's a Dragon Quest video game hero. So that's why Like a Dragon and the sequel are turn-based, because he thinks he's in a video game. He's like, I have all these allies. I have all, and like, it's like, I'm not a Yakuza. I'm a guy who fights for justice and equality. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But to him, it makes sense. It's his reality. So he's like able to be like, well, okay, I understand this person's plight. I'm gonna be like gentle and gonna give them a chance to like escape or live a better life. And it's like, well, but this person attacked me. Well, then I need to fight them and kill them. It's like, you're coming against me, I'm gonna fight back. But if you're not like against me and you're like just someone in the street that wants food, like, I'm not gonna give you money, I'm gonna let you go, you know? And that way is a bit like Sherlock Holmes. It's like Sherlock Holmes in the original book is doing his own sense of justice. It's like, well, okay, you're gonna die soon, so you don't need to go to jail. Or you have punishment enough in like thinking about the loved ones you lost or whatever. It's like sometimes it doesn't give them back to justice. You just like, well, whatever. So this is the moon from George Méliès. I use it on my logo because George Méliès, I think, is free to use. But yeah, George Méliès is like crazy bonkers artist for cinema. It's like, he was not even a cineast really. He was more of a magician. So he's like doing all of these cool effects just because it's fun, you know? So I thought that was interesting. Like, it's like the radio demon that's like, well, I know radio's not as good as TV anymore, but I'm the radio demon. Radio's always the best, you know? Here we have Grimm. Grimm is a manifestation of like those old circus that we don't see a lot of anymore, with like really bombastious music, little spectacles, that sort of thing. In All Night, he faces up again the night, but like, I don't think Grimm is evil. Like, I think he's just there to like bring joy and happiness to a desolate place. And the one thing I never would want to do in my Hollow Knight game is beat Grimm or banish Grimm, because I think like Adalbro's complaining about the noise, but it's like Grimm makes the Dirtmouth. Yeah, he makes Dirtmouth feel more alive. Like, there's no one there. So why not have a circus, you know? Like, the Colosseum is so far away. Like, why not have a little pop-up tent circus in your town, bring happiness to those who need it most? Yeah. Here we have Sonic, because Sonic is weird. Sonic has like Hangman, Dr. Eggman, he has Shadow, he has like, it's very anime. It's very over the top. It's very chaotic. It's like 1 second he's like, running, then he's skating down the street, then he's like doing all these crazy things. Like any cutscene in Sonic is like, what is happening? It's very absurd. So, and this is Dadaism. So Dadaism is the idea, they wanted to destroy art, basically. It's like, instead of making art from scratch, you take clippings of journals and you stick them together. So here, that's an example of that. But like this old thing I made is like a clipping of a clipping of a clipping, So like, these are all memes that I stitched together. It's like, it implies there's a relation between them. That's not necessarily true, which in my head it is true, but it's not. Like, it gives it a different context than the original context, because now this context is different. Are they are they mine? Is that idea that they're all related mine? um I think so, but I don't really know. It's like a gray area in copyright. But yeah, it's kind of inspired by Dadaism collages. So I thought I'd put it there so people get where this is coming from, and that's not like a new thing. And I don't really want to steal this art. It's like, when you put everything together, it feels like it's a new artwork. It's a collage of different ideas, and it becomes its own thing, sort of. Not really, but it's related to meme culture with, and it's like you share memes, and it's like all of the memes, like no one really knows who created them. Like some of these you could find who created them. Like this is probably a picture, like Arsene Lupin is probably a picture from Netflix. The Yakuza is probably from the game. This Spider-Man is from the movie. Deadpool's from the movie. Asbin Hotel's from Asbin Hotel. You know, this is a meme someone made. The Sonic is a meme someone made somewhere, and we don't really know who. And you could probably find it. You know, um, and I put also Princess Knight to remind people that anime is not a new thing. Princess Knight is from Osamu Tezuka. So Osamu Tezuka was basically the first. It was the first person who made mangas, I think, and it's like he did mangas and he did animated series, and it was basically he was inspired by Disney, so that's why like Osamu Tezuka stuff echoes Disney's a lot. There's Astro Boy, who is inspired by Mickey Mouse, like most people know about it. There's the White Lion, but what a lot of people get wrong about the White Lion that's like similar to Lion King is that I think this one is Osamu Tezuka copying Disney and not the other way around, or it kind of happened at the same time, and it's like just just like parallel thinking, both him and Disney making lion stories at the same time with similar beats, which is not uncommon. And this is Princess Knight. I would say in anime, she is the first character who's like cross dressing as a sort of ambivalent gender, um, because she's a princess, but she's also a knight. So she's like that the mix of the boy and the girl, the like princess of distress and the knight. It's like a probably a big inspiration for Utena and all the gender bending stuff from mangas and animes. And this is Dali, Dali in the corner here, because after Dadaism you have Surrealism, and Surrealism is like we explore the world of dreams, and it harkens back to Alice in Wonderland again, because Alice in Wonderland is in a dream, and Dali's saying like, let's draw that dream, let's paint it. So that's the first slide. We finish with the first slide. Realize that all characters are the same. You can make this story, right? So this is so the references is Don Quixote from Cervantes. So if you rewrote Don Quixote, but you put the knight in it, it doesn't need to be like you can just name it the knight. Like you can't like that's how he's called in all they're called in the game is the knight. So you can just put a knight, instead of having old man Don Quixote, you could have a random knight, and this one has like rainbow colors. So it's a Pride Knight. So this is Pride Knight. Fights with nail. You know, could be a laurel nail, or it could be like some sort of nail from from like a forge master. It's like just a regular nail, like a really really big nail that you found somewhere. Like I think that would be like in keeping with Don Quixote, just picking up like random bits of armor and being like, I'm gonna set off and become a knight. And usually this is Sancho, but I thought it was funny, Ornette here, to be like, yeah, well, I could write a Sancho that's like Ornette, and even name it Ornette. Like you can't trademark the name of an animal, right? It's like Ornettes are in the wild. I could name a character Ornette. I could name a character Grimm and make them you know a troubadour, like bard type of person. Like Grimm is also not trademarked. The name Grimm. This comes from Grim Reaper. It's like you can call a character Grim if you want. Yeah. So like I think Hollow Knight's a good example that sometimes it's like less is more is less, and like you know, it's like you can name your character something random, but you could also name them like Grimm to echo to like the Grim Reaper, or you could call them Bard because they're the Bard, or you know, something like that. It's like you're the music person, we'll call you Lullaby. I don't know, you know? It's like you don't have to have a unique name for each character. They can just be reference to who they are, what their role is. I think in Hollow Knight there's a mix of both because you have like Carnifer, which is like Automato, those kind of thing. Sly, like there's characters that are named that have real names, different names, but there's also characters that are just a concept. But even Sly, you know, it's like when you say someone's Sly, it's like he's gonna scam you, you know? Like, you know, it's like a fox, you know. So yeah, this is a concept mock-up for Alpanave, and it's a Song of the Silk Road. Just saying, like, I could write a book uh, that before Sing Song comes out, basically, as the joke. Here we have the famous scene from Don Quixote where he runs and he's trying to kill the windmills. And here I put the knight here, and I put Grimm on the windmill because Grimm is like a representation of dreams. So when you're in a dream, you can try to kill the dream, but that probably won't work. And then here I put the Silk Road, because, you know, Silk Song, Silk Road. So, you know, maybe they could go explore the Silk Road and meet people that would look, behave, not necessarily look, but behave or echo characters from Hollow Knight. Or any other, they're like, when you're doing a remix of things, you can pick anything. You know, you can be like, well, in my Hollow Knight inspired book, I could have a Harley Quinn character, or I could have a, you know, it's like it doesn't need to be Harley Quinn from DC Comics. It can be Harley Quinn from the Commedia dell'arte. So I could have an Harley Quinn adjuster type character. You know, I could name them Grimm. I could name them whatever. Doesn't really matter. You know, it's like I can write a book about All Night. It just needs to be not official All Night, and you need to rename the night. You need to rename well, you don't need to rename the night because it can be just the night, but you need to rename the book. You can need to have a cover that's different enough from like I don't think that could pass as a book cover, but it could definitely like you could definitely like get an artist to redo this art, sort of like similar, not too similar, like make it as not branded as possible, but you know, you can like have an artist draw a, so this is like the bait would be like a mock-up, and then you have an artist come and draw like a final product of what the cover would look like, and it could look nothing like this, but it's just like this is a mock-up. You can use it as a thumbnail, but you can't use it as a book cover, sadly. And would need to be like pictures you have the right of, sort of. You know, it's like if you use Canvas, you can use the Canvas stock photos. You know, like you can always use stock photos. You can always use those type of thing. But like Grimm, this was made by someone. This art, the character is owned by All Might. You know, it's not right to use someone else's artwork for something other than the thumbnail or like a slide in a discussion. I think like thumbnails are like they don't really breach copyright, but you know they're like, well, you know, they're using assets from the game. They're using like, you know, they make it their own. They like throw it everywhere. Oh, whatever. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like your own art, but it's so similar to the one in the game. Like you could just take the one in the game and sort of modify it a little bit, you know, make sure people know this is that you made it, that it's unique, you know. Anyway, that. I think I want to beat the regular one before I beat the ones in God Hope. But I don't know what you guys think. I think I should just go straight for the golem fight. Don't need toins. Yes, yes. Don't need this. I don't need this. So, from what I saw, you need shaman. You need unbreakable strength. First, Need quick slash? That's a lot of notches. What was first was Mark of Pride? Oh no, that's Overcharm. Unbreakable Strength. So it goes Mark of Pride, quick slash Shaman, and what's next? We still have 2 notches to fill. I have Void Art. I have Compass. This is really the best use of our 2 notches. And we could put this. Oh, and you're 2. Now, so okay. So I think I do this. Oh no. I mean, I have to walk all the way back to... That's too long. Walking all the way back to... Well, time to sip a latte and listen to some electro swing, because we're going to... Frickin' just frickin' Dirtmouth. So let's just put some electro swing. Yeah. Why did I jump there? No, it's I think I would need to reload the game. I think I beat this one, but I just did Shaman Stone and things. Yeah. I don't think it's happening. Okay, I really don't think. Okay. Well, well, put on your headphones, put on your cat jams. We're walking the long way to Dirtmouth, apparently.
Sur l'Interstate 95, partent en fumée tous les rêves. Un char en feu dans une bretelle, un accident mortel, yeah. Et au milieu de ce bouchon, pas de respect pour la mort. Chacun son tour joue du klaxon, tellement pressé de rien nulle part. La question que je me pose tout le temps, mais où s'en vont tous ces gens? Il y a tellement de chars partout.
Well, now that we've seen the history of what Grimm represents a little bit, it's time to become the Grimm. Final showdown in All Night, famously, is Grimm. It's Radiant Grimm. It's not Radiance, it's actually Radiant Grimm. We're gonna go and try to kill Grimm. It's perfectly logical. We're gonna go get Grimm. Yeah, down in here. Okay, but this is better. Okay, wing. That's shaped as well. Grimm. We're gonna start with the tune, because I never beat this guy. Alright, no. Disaster. Let's see if we can get it. We can get it. Oh my god. It's been so long since I played this game. Getting it. Well, not this one. Oh my god. Yeah, what we're gonna do? This is awkward. I don't think I can beat Grimm, so what now? Is there an immortality mod? Do we take the cheating mod? That was something. Well, I'm glad I did the lecture before.